Hey my good friends, Sam Haymart with Test Driven TV. The 2022 Ford Maverick Hybrid's gotten a lot of attention in the last year since it came out. Good things, test drive reviews, a lot of owners sharing their stories, and one of the things that's become very apparent, not only out there watching the internet, but for our own Maverick Hybrid long-term tester, is that it's got goofy brakes. They're abrupt, they're jerky, they don't always act right. And so we're going to talk today about the big Maverick Hybrid brake problem, what's causing it, and well, what's Ford going to do about it? Many owners of the 2022 Ford Maverick Hybrid have been experiencing slow-speed braking issues of abrupt jerking and locking up that are at best annoying and at worst potentially dangerous. Since the truck arrived on the scene, owners have been complaining online in various forums and on social media about the problem, where the brakes fail to adequately engage at slow speeds of less than 5 to 6 miles an hour, then suddenly and unexpectedly lock up. This happens in everyday circumstances like coming up to a stop sign, pulling into a parking space, navigating gridlock stop-and-go traffic, or pulling up to exit a parking lot to wait for an opening in traffic, all situations where pedal effort is light to moderate. The brakes feel like they're not grabbing hard enough, and as you gradually increase effort, they sometimes suddenly and unpredictably slam on or lock up with a loud clunk from under the hood. It's very inconsistent and difficult to predict how and when it will behave like this, and it doesn't always do it. The internet is full of reports about this. I myself posted a thread on the MaverickTruckClub.com forum earlier this year, which garnered much discussion from several other owners having the exact same issues. As it turns out, Ford Motor Company monitors web forums and social media and reached out to me directly, asking me to document the problems, which I did in detail last winter. They acknowledged receipt of my complaint and never again responded. Months later, this summer, I reached out to them to follow up and see if they were planning to do anything, to which they said the case was still open. And again, no follow-up since. Many other people have had the exact same experience. They complained to Ford, Ford took their information, Ford did nothing to help address the matter by setting up any kind of inspection or arranging further investigation. Dealerships have proven useless to address this matter for those who wasted their time there, many being told this is normal hybrid brake behavior, or we could not duplicate the problem, yada yada, blah blah. We've all heard this crap before from dealerships who generally treat customers like they're stupid in imagining things. I took it to my local dealership to try to get this problem resolved before we did a video on it, because I wanted to say that I actually took action to try to solve it for me. And my service advisor, before I even got the first sentence describing this brake problem out and finished, he's doing this thing at me. He's nodding his head and he's putting his hand up and he's rolling his eyes. And he says, you're going to have to leave it here for 12 to 13 days if you want us to diagnose anything. We just don't have the time. Really? I mean, he gave me the hand and he basically said, F off, we don't have time for this kind of crap on a potentially dangerous braking issue. That's how I was treated at my local Ford dealer. Now, since then, I complained that dealership has tried to make good on that by setting me up for an appointment, which was actually today, the making of this video. And so I'm not going to out the dealership because they realized that they should have treated me better. That was a dealership issue, not Ford. But it does illustrate the larger picture of how Ford and the dealerships have been addressing this problem for their customers. As of the making of this video, there are 23 complaints filed with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration about the braking issue on their website. If you read through each complaint, you'll find a consistent and highly descriptive drumbeat from customers all over the country, all echoing the exact same issue. My complaint is there too. So what's the problem, and why haven't dealerships or Ford yet been able to deal with it? The braking system on the 2022 Ford Maverick Hybrid, as well as many other hybrid cars, is a form of an electronic brake-by-wire system. Instead of a conventional master cylinder and hydraulic brake system, it has an electronic brake control unit entirely managed by the computer. Using a brake pedal fuel simulator, it reads your brake pedal pressure and then decides whether to use regenerative braking by the hybrid transmission or hydraulic brakes or a combination of both. Regenerative braking can provide low G-force braking power up to a certain threshold, Beyond that, hydraulic brakes are then actuated by the computer via the electronic motor pump unit and phased in on top of regenerative braking. The problem with the Ford Maverick Hybrid is that when applying light or moderate brake pressure, which first triggers regenerative braking, the electronic braking unit is not handling the transition from regenerative braking to hydraulic braking in a way that's smooth and predictable. The handoff just isn't working that well. It's sometimes abrupt, it's unpredictable, and it can be potentially dangerous if a driver doesn't know what to expect from their vehicle from one moment to the next. Sudden jerky or slamming brakes can cause loss of control on surfaces like ice or even cause you to be rear-ended. The list goes on. It's annoying at best, dangerous at worst. And what kind of premature wear and tear is this causing on bushings, ball joints, and braking components over time? In spite of what many dealerships and naysayers have been telling Maverick Hybrid owners, this is not normal. I have tested hundreds of hybrid cars in my career. They don't all do this. I have tested other contemporary Ford hybrid models with the same hardware under the hood, such as the current Escape hybrids. They don't do this. No, this problem seems to be specifically with the Ford Maverick Hybrid. Because the Maverick Hybrid uses the same exact hardware under the hood as many other hybrid vehicles, even from other brands, the problem I have long believed is most likely in the Maverick's specific software that controls the brake system. Thus, it's a problem that cannot be diagnosed and corrected at the dealership level. It needs to be dealt with at the Ford engineering level and handled with a recall or a TSB with new software at the least. Maybe even corrected hardware if there's a mechanical problem determined. So lo and behold, the very day that I was going to take my truck to the dealership to have this looked at, Ford sends out to their dealerships an SSM broadcast message that says this: 2022 Maverick 2.5-liter hybrid brakes grab during light braking when applied at or below 6.2 miles per hour. Some 2022 Maverick vehicles equipped with a 2.5-liter full hybrid electric vehicle powertrain may exhibit a condition where the brakes may grab during light braking at or below 6.2 miles per hour. This may be due to the software in the anti-lock brake system module. This condition does not affect vehicle safety and performance, and no additional diagnosis or service is required for this condition at this time. Inform customers that they can continue to safely drive the vehicle, and engineering is currently developing a software update that is expected in the last week of November 2022. Once the software update is available, contact the customer and schedule a follow-up appointment for repair in December 2022. So what this basically means is Ford has acknowledged the problem. They admitted there's a problem. So for all of you owners out there who have gone to your dealership and gotten the hand or some bullshit story from your service advisor, for all the people who have complained to Ford and gotten no response or action whatsoever, and to all the people who have put in complaints to the NHTSA, guess what? You're not crazy. There is a problem. Please note though, there may not be an actual formal recall where Ford notifies customers of the fix and invites them to come to the dealership and have it addressed. Here, more than likely, it'll be up to the customer to contact their dealership and tell them they need the software update once it becomes available in December of 2022. Don't depend on Ford or the dealerships to just do it on their own. I'm one that really thinks they should be doing a recall on this. That they're not doing it surprises me a little bit, and no, they may change their mind. They have done recalls on the Maverick already for matters that I don't think rise quite to the level of potentially dangerous brakes, but I am not an unbiased journalist here on this particular story. As I've mentioned, we have our own Maverick here. We're driving it. We're living this story along with many other owners out there. So my opinions on this matter might be stronger than the average everyday journalist who just covers car news. So that said, if there's any updates on this story, if anything changes beyond what we've just talked about here in this video, we will have it on our Maverick playlist right there. We have over 50 videos, test drives, technical, how-to, all sorts of stuff that's fun, some that's newsworthy. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel right there to stay notified of everything we do. Either way, stay tuned.